Bonjour tout le monde. Hello from beautiful Paris, France, my favorite city in the world. Of course, we're here on the mission field. This is the mission of Terri Savelle Ministries, is impacting the nation of France. And we have gone all over the streets of Paris and other cities. We've even prayed with people right on the streets. So if you're supporting this ministry, I just want to say a giant merci beaucoup. Thank you from my heart. You are making an impact. Well, today I want to talk to you about stop prioritizing your schedule. Now that may sound insane, but let me explain. You know Stephen Covey, who wrote the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? He said, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. Why? Because priorities never stay put. You know, we put things on our list of things to do, but then something's always trying to grab our attention to get us to lose our focus. But you have to start scheduling your priorities, like this podcast. The reason this podcast gets done consistently is because it is literally on our calendar the whole year out. We schedule it 1 year in advance exactly when we're going to tape. Same with the Icing Women's Conference. You know, every year we host the annual Icing Women's Conference. That gets put on the calendar every October without fail. Or when I'm writing a new book. You know, I typically write 1 book each year. Well, we plan it out. We know when that needs to go to the printer, when it needs to go to the editor, and when I need to finish writing. Well, see, what gets put on the calendar gets done. That way, it's not up for debate. You know you're going to do it. In other words, you have to appoint a time to go after your goals, to go after the dreams that are in your heart. Like if you have a dream to write a book, you have to appoint a time on your calendar to say, I will write my book every Tuesday and every Saturday. If you don't schedule your priorities, then something else is going to grab your attention and another year will go by and you'll say, still don't have a book written, but I know God told me to do it. In fact, I was reading something about Zig Ziglar, the great Zig Ziglar, and he said for years when he was a salesman, he never made it in the top 7,000 of his sales team. That's pretty low, huh? He never made it in the top 7,000. Well, all of a sudden, he said he made a commitment on his calendar that he was going to go out every day at 9 o'clock in the morning and start knocking on doors, trying to sell. He said his wife would even ask him, she'd say, Zig, where are you going? He'd say, I've got an appointment. He said, rain or shine, hot or cold, he went out knocking on doors. He said he never told his wife his appointment was with himself. He scheduled those priorities with himself. Well, do you know the year he got committed to scheduling his priorities, he ended up number 2 out of 5,000 salespeople. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? So again, Habakkuk 2:3 says, the vision is yet for an appointed time. So you have to appoint a time on your calendar. In fact, I love this story I read about Jerry Seinfeld. He's one of the greatest comedians of all time. In fact, I believe it was TV Guide rated him as one of the top sitcoms, long-running sitcoms that's received numerous awards, claimed the top TV episode of all time. Well, the thing I was reading about him said what's most impressive about Jerry Seinfeld, it's not all of his awards and his earnings and accolades and all that. The most remarkable thing about Jerry Seinfeld is his consistency. He is one of the most consistent comedians and people that I've ever heard of. In fact, he was backstage with this young comedian who was really wanting to learn some tips and tricks, you know, to be a great comic. So he asked him, he said, you know, Jerry, can you share something with me that'll just help my career go to a next level? So this is what Jerry Seinfeld told him to do. He said, I want you to go get a wall calendar. And then he said, go get a red marker. Then he told him this, put that calendar on a prominent wall in your office or your house where you see it every single day. And he said, every day I want you to write some jokes. He said, every day that you write jokes, put a big X over that day. He said, pretty soon, when you get a whole week under your belt, you're going to make a chain, and you're going to like seeing it. Then he said this, the key is don't break the chain. He even told him, he said, you know, there may be times when you don't feel motivated to write jokes, write anyway. He said, the jokes may not even be any good, write it anyway. Then he said, the jokes may not ever make it into a routine, but keep writing. He said, your number 1 goal is this. Don't break the chain. Well, you know, I've read that about other people too who've succeeded. In fact, there was this young guy who started a YouTube channel for drummers, and he said it wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't making any progress. All of a sudden, he made a commitment with himself. He said, I'm going to post a new video every Tuesday and every Thursday. He said because of his consistency, he has grown to over 500,000 subscribers when he became consistent. So, I want to tell you this. Get a calendar and schedule your priorities. If it's to learn a foreign language, I remember for a while I had my French Fridays. Every Friday I would practice my French. If it's writing a book, schedule it on your calendar and have integrity with yourself. Don't break the chain. Just say to yourself, whatever it is, I'm going to schedule it on the calendar and I'm going to keep my commitments with myself. You know, we've shared on other podcasts that commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has left you. So, whatever it is God's put in your heart that you need to get serious about, if it's saving money, if it's losing weight, schedule it on the calendar and make that commitment. Don't break the chain. So again, the Bible says the vision is yet for an appointed time. You have to appoint a time to go after your dreams. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with a friend. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so I can keep you motivated to achieve your dreams. Thank you from Paris. I'll see you next week. I think it's one thing to have a plan, to have a dream for your life, but when you discover God's plan, that's the icing on the cake.
This is more than a women's conference. It is a 2-day event that can propel you into your destiny. Start planning now to join Terri, Savelle, Foy, and thousands of inspiring women from around the world at Icing 2017. Don't miss out on this life-changing weekend filled with empowering, purpose-driven worship, teaching, and fellowship. Besides, who doesn't love free cupcakes? We'll see you at Icing 2017, October 13th and 14th at the Will Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. For more information and to register, visit us at terri.com. Don't hesitate. Register today.